Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee, thank you for inviting me to testify at this hearing. My name is Andy Thompson. I'm in my first term representing Ohio's 93rd House District, and I represent Guernsey, Noble, and Monroe, as well as portions of Washington and Muskegon counties. Before being elected to the state legislature, I served on the Marion City Council for 3 terms, getting elected to my final term in 2009. Appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today about the impacts of the Obama administration's ill-advised energy and environmental policies and their impacts here in Ohio. Today I would like to discuss, number one, the administration's war on coal and the impact on coal jobs, the impact on utility jobs in the greater coal communities, what this means for manufacturing in Ohio, and how this impacts our growing natural gas industry. This is coal country, and here in eastern Ohio we rely on coal not only for electricity but also for good paying jobs and a strong tax base to help provide critical services. Coal not only provides jobs for our miners, equipment operators, and support personnel, it also provides many jobs in surrounding communities where coal industry employees work and live. For example, a study from Pennsylvania State University has demonstrated that every direct coal mining job supports 11 other jobs in such areas as trucking, railroads, and equipment suppliers, as well as local businesses, including restaurants, stores, and gas stations. Coal's been integral to the well-being of eastern Ohio's communities for many, many years. And when coal's doing well, we do well. But unfortunately, coal is in a tough spot right now. Many of the environmental policies that the Obama administration has undertaken in recent years have caused substantial hardship in our region, and I fear this may only be the beginning. Just last week, a major coal mine in my district announced that it was laying off 29 workers in direct response to several Obama administration policies aimed at coal. Not too long before that, I learned of a surface mining company in Noble County that cannot get any new permits approved by the Corps of Engineers and the EPA. This company has mined almost all of its permitted property, but now is considering shutting down operations because the government has not granted it new permits. These are just 2 of the many troubling examples that have been brought to my attention recently. As every elected official knows, this is county fair season, and every fair that I've been to, people have come up to me and expressed deep concern about the war on coal and what it means for communities and for eastern Ohio. These people have spouses, brothers, and uncles in the mining business, and they're all scared for its future and for their own future. I hear this more than any other issue. People in eastern Ohio are deeply concerned that the war on coal is going to ruin their livelihoods, their families, and their communities. When you hear about layoffs in the coal industry, you generally think about coal miners and others who work at a mine, and that's understandable because they're the first ones to lose their jobs and their livelihoods when a coal mine shuts down. But we also need to be thinking about what's going to happen to the people who work at the coal-fired facilities that are being shut down. Those layoffs are starting to happen right here in Ohio. For example, AEP will shut down 5 units at the Muskegon River plant in Beverly, costing 128 jobs. They'll shut down 1 unit at the Clairsville generating station, eliminating 20 jobs. AEP will shut down 1 unit for 9 months annually at its Pickwick plant near Lockbourne, costing 24 jobs. Duke will shut down one of its generating units at its Becker station in New Richmond, impacting 120 jobs. First Energy will close units at Bayshore, East Lake, Lakeshore, and Ashtabula locations, jeopardizing up to 530 jobs. GenOn will shut 2 units at its Avon Lake plant, costing 80 jobs. And GenOn will shut 2 units at its Niles plant, cutting 40 jobs. But Ohio alone will not be the only state impacted in our region from the war on coal. 2 facilities are slated to shut their doors on the other side of the border in Pennsylvania, and 3 are going to shut down across the river in West Virginia. When you add in the job losses in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, we're talking about nearly 9,000 direct, indirect, and induced jobs in the Ohio Valley. Ohio's a manufacturing state, and it always has been. The energy boom in the Midwest has provided many opportunities that Ohioans are excited to pursue, but those opportunities are running head-on into the Obama administration's environmental policies. Let me provide a key example. The largest electricity user in Ohio is Ormet Corporation in Monroe County, which is an aluminum producer capable of producing 270,000 tons of aluminum per year. Ormet had employed roughly 1,100 employees, with more than 900 represented by the United Steelworkers Union. But the company just announced that it is considering laying off 90 to 100 of them due to concerns about increasing electricity prices. We're going to continue seeing this at other manufacturing facilities, both large and small, all across Ohio. Mr. Chairman, coal is not the only industry taking the brunt of this administration's destructive environmental policies. Unfortunately, despite the unprecedented boom in natural gas production in our state, environmentalists at the Obama administration are starting to turn a negative eye to natural gas. I'm sure everyone knows about the Beyond Coal campaign run by the Sierra Club. Now they're beginning a Beyond Natural Gas campaign, which will attempt to cast the same negative light on the natural gas industry that it did on the coal industry. And the Obama administration is not far behind. There are many questions at the end of the day about the Obama administration's policies toward coal and natural gas industries, but what people really want to know is how much this is going to cost, and the costs are substantial. I see that I'm running out of my time, so I will wrap it up here. I want to thank you and your colleagues, Chairman Jordan, for conducting this much-needed oversight of the Obama administration. I very much appreciate your efforts, along with Speaker Boehner and Majority Leader Cantor and others, to pass several bills promoting energy development and reining in the EPA and the administration. I want to acknowledge Congressman Johnson as well, because I know that he's worked very hard on this. I just wish the United States Senate and the President of the United States would follow suit. I should also note, Mr. Chairman, that I'm doing my best here in Ohio to support those efforts. Specifically, I've sponsored 2 separate resolutions in the legislature urging the President to suspend both the Utility Act and CASPR. I also led the passage of a resolution in the House of Representatives that urges the President to discard proposals to increase taxes on producers of coal, natural gas, and oil, and instead adopt policies that encourage domestic production of these important resources. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for inviting me to testify today. I'd be pleased to answer any questions at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. We appreciate your work with Senator. Ms. Rager, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and other committee members. I appreciate the opportunity to give testimony to you today. Buckeye Power is a generation and transmission cooperative owned by the Ohio Distribution Cooperatives. Ohio cooperatives serve 10% of the state of Ohio for electricity. Just upriver from where we're sitting here is the Cardinal Station, and we own 2 of the 600 megawatt units there, Cardinal Units 2 and 3. We have spent, in the last 10 years, $1 billion for SCR and scrubbers for those units. We've made, as a result, a substantial reduction in sulfur dioxide and NOx emissions, as this chart over here vividly shows. A significant reduction. The Cardinal now is able to use local high sulfur coal, so jobs have been added with this investment, and it has helped the economy. Our Cardinal units are among the cleanest in terms of conventional pollutant coal plants in the United States. But this has come at a cost. The average residential cooperative consumer today pays about $20 more a month to provide this result. But they are getting something for this. There's an air quality benefit, and everybody's happy about it. Our members are happy about it. I wish I could end my story here, but I can't. And why can't I? Because EPA is overly aggressively pursuing additional regulations. Let me give you an example using the MATS, mercury and air toxics rule. When EPA was looking at whether they should impose MATS, they assessed the damages, the health effects from mercury and hazardous air pollutants, and they estimated that the annual economic value or impact on the country was $6 million a year. They then estimated what it was going to take to reduce emissions to what they considered an acceptable level, and that number was $9.6 billion. That's right, $4 to $6 million benefit at a $9.6 billion cost. Well, how did they connect the two? They've done what they've been doing for many years now, double counting. Mercury benefits alone couldn't justify their actions. So they looked at secondary benefits, in this case, fine particulate reductions, which they already regulate under another part of the Clean Air Act. So they're using over-compliance of fine particulate, what is referred to as PM 2.5, by taking those levels below what they have established as an acceptable PM 2.5 limit, as a level that they've established as protective of human health. This has got to stop, this double counting. The MATS rule, we are going to be able to meet the MATS rule, we think. We're going to be close, perhaps, but we think we've done enough. We don't think we should have to incur more costs. But our biggest concern about the MATS rule is that the monitoring requirements. We strongly believe that EPA has provided testimony that have said they think that the combination of SCR and scrubbers on eastern coal takes care of mercury. So we're not really concerned about whether our mercury level is going to be on an absolute basis low enough. We believe it is. Our problem is going to be proving it through testing, because mercury is so dilute in concentration I mean, the standard that they want to apply is 1.2 pounds per trillion BTUs. You typically think about emissions in pounds per million. This is pounds per trillion.